Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And this is my part two of Valheim's, I guess, my own version of my little guide and sort of a tutorial just to kind of guide you guys through things that you would need to do. And we went over the basics last time on my previous video. I'm going to add a link to the description below in case you guys want to go over that as well. And this is more of, you know, your next steps. So essentially, what you would want to do, as you can see right now, is really build yourself a house. That's number one, because you will need to rest and you need somewhere to sleep. So for you to rest, first of all, you need a campfire. So you need some stones and you need some wood. So you have to go and chop off some trees, collect some stones, and being able to build your campfire. Sorry. And every once in a while, uh, where you see you can actually press the button E and add some wood. Essentially, you add fuel to the fire, and that's essentially what it is, because it does burn out, and you will be feeling cold at night. Now, the reason why you don't want that is because essentially you get a debuff when you do that. So it doesn't kill you, but you do get a debuff. You get tired, your regeneration lowers. So I actually made myself two campfires over here, just to keep myself warm no matter where I am around my property. And at least I'm assured that I won't get that debuff, right? So you can see at the top right corner, right next to the map, you have a little campfire. So you know you're warm. That's one. Two, uh, I was gonna say you have to eat, and sure enough, the game just told me you have to consume food. So in this case, I have some berries. I haven't been able to catch any decent meat for me to cook yet. So let me eat myself some berries. And you see, my regeneration does increase right now. I am feeling more well fed. What I did for myself also to protect myself against creatures, I built myself a fence, really throughout my whole house. So I try to make it a little bit bigger in case I wanted to expand my property, expand my house. It'll be a lot easier in that sense. And to make sure I can get out, well, I have some doors over here. There you go. So I can actually get out. And essentially, what you would want to do, so my house is nowhere near finished, right? I do have a light here, and I do have my bed. I have my workbench that I'll need to be able to do other things with it. Note that for a workbench and for a bed, you need to have a roof. So on my bed, I did build a roof. Not the best one, but at least it'll do for now for me to go through the tutorial and my guide here. On my workbench, I did not. So all I have is a second roof. So you see the stairs over there, and when you press it, it clearly tells you, well, you need a roof, which essentially you want your workstation to be in a property, right? Like you need to be protected by all the elements. You want it to be in a house, and the game is as realistic as it gets. It is telling you that you need a roof. So to be able to do that, I jumped off. To be able to do that, you essentially have to continue building. You can either choose to make your um make your building taller, or kind of just close it off and build a roof, and then it's gonna start working, right? As opposed to now, all you see it's just wood. There's nothing else. If if and when you catch some meat and you kill some animals, you would essentially put it here in your cooking station. Now, this is going to be another thing that you might need a roof for, but at least at the moment, since I don't really have any food, any meat, I really don't care. I just kind of left it there for now. And this is essentially the basic things that you would need to know to build a house. Um, so, for you to be able to do that right now, you would essentially need to go and cut some trees. And the way you would do that is, so you're gonna go and it's gonna take a while. You're gonna go to one of the trees over here and you're gonna chop it down. So, in case you're wondering, well, what can I do in case I have no axe for me to be able to chop it down? Don't worry. There's a way around that. So, you can go to one of these smaller trees and just start punching it. And you see you're doing damage. So, as you're punching it, it does break. And on the top left corner, you just saw you picked up some wood. You can go around where you see mostly cliffs, mountains, and rocks. And you can also pick up some stones. There you go. Right? So I picked up some stones. Very, very useful. And when you go to your inventory, you do have the option now to make yourself an axe. So you need 5 wood and 5 stone. So you can build yourself an axe. In this case, I do have one. And I'm going to go to one of the trees here and I'm going to chop it down. Now you can see there's some woods, some trees, sorry, that you can't chop it down. It's going to tell you it's too hard. And the more you try, well, it doesn't really do anything. It just says too hard and nothing ends up happening. So you need one that, well, be careful not to fall on you because it will kill you. So you need one that will actually do damage, one that you can actually break. Now, more you use it, notice on the number 2 option on the top left corner, where essentially I have my axe, it is doing damage also to my axe. So it is eating up some of the durability here. And it's not a big deal. You can essentially, if you really want to, just don't break your head over it and you just create a brand new one if you want. It's really not that difficult for you to be able to make another axe. But the point is that it will actually eat up your durability more you use it. So don't worry about that. It's very normal in the game. So since I'm here and I saw some more rocks, let me go pick those up as well. There you go. Things that you want to remember is more you play the game uh, and you pick up certain items, heavier they become. So right now I don't have that much on me per se, so I'll have less than a stack of 50 of wood, and same goes for stone. But as the game progresses and more you chop off, they start becoming heavier on your character. So what happens is you're not able to carry them, and essentially you stop moving just because, like in real life, you just can't carry anymore. Very very simple. So you have to essentially go back and use them. So you would just go back, use whatever you need to. Oh, I just spotted a bad guy. Come here. And I was gonna say up next, be careful for. Come back here. There you go. Be careful for these guys because they will spawn all around the forest, and they essentially try to protect their land. That's how it seems like. And one is not that bad. You can kind of kill him off, not a problem. You don't even need an axe, despite the fact that I used one. You really don't need one. You can just punch him and kick him to death. No problem. What you don't want is to see any skeletons for now at this level. And what you don't want is to see a pack of them. So once you see more than two, even two could be a challenge. But if you see more than two, I would probably suggest you run. Oh, actually, let me pick this thing up. There you go. So you may want to run away, right? Because they can be pretty tough and you just don't want to die. If you do die, it's not a big deal. You don't actually lose anything. But what does end up happening is that you have to run back to your corpse and pick up all your stacks, all your loot or whatever you want to call it. So now let's say that I'm over here and I'm fully like my inventory is full. What's next? Well, you want to continue building. Your first thing that you want to do after uh, finding a good spot for you to build is, like I said, you want to build your house. I built also a fence to protect myself, to make sure that it keeps out any beasts, any wild animals. And I have done the experiment that if you do leave something outside, they will start attacking it. So I did leave my workstation, my workbench outside, and what ended up happening is I built myself a roof so I can be able to build. I went to cut some trees, and there was just a pack of boars destroying it. I was so furious. So what I did is I just took it down. I built it myself, my house, and a fence around it just to make sure I'm protected. Now the good thing is, if you destroy something, it's not a big problem, right? You can essentially just break it, and you can just take your wood back. That's some of the the good things about it, right? So this is, I guess, more of a beginner's guide when it comes to building your house. I guess one advice I can give you guys while building your house and trying to put things inside and trying to customize it and make it your own, essentially, some things that you really want to focus on as well is the lights, right? You do want a torch here and there just to make sure that there is some type of light, because it does get dark. It really does. It's really dark. It's hard to see in some cases, and your chest here would essentially be for anything specific that you might want to put inside. Let's say you have 20 axes, or you have a trophy like you see on top of my number 7 there. I have a trophy. I don't know where to put it yet. You don't want to lose it, and you don't want it to be taking up inventory. You could put it in your chest, right? And you don't really want to kind of lock yourself in. Like you see in my case, I did a little bit just because of the mountain hill. It was a little bit more tough for me to build around. So, but you do want to leave yourself some room to open up and expand in case there's anything. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you go crazy on this house, although you do want something, like I said, to protect yourself and to make this house your own. But look at it this way: whatever you do here, it will be more of a tutorial. There's a lot more for you to explore. This is just the beginning. That's all it is. So it gets bigger. You you then build a boat and you go across. So in my case, I haven't really done that much, right? Not with this character, but it does get more detailed, more bigger, more things to do. So yes, I recommend you make sure that you build this house and you make it your own and you build whatever you need to. But at the same time, don't break your head too much. You will need to make another one afterwards as well, right? You can either choose to leave this over here, or you can kind of just dismantle it and take the wood with you. So now you see it's raining and it's uncomfortable, right? Well, you know what? I can essentially come here and go to sleep if I really wanted to. In my case, I won't right now. I'm going to focus a little bit more right now on making some light and whatnot, because I don't really want to be outside and soaked. So yeah, this is more of a introduction. I will be making additional ones and going into more details, but for now, this is it. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Throw me a like if you liked it. Subscribe for additional content. It does help a lot. And thank you so much for watching. Peace.